Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Leah Springspoon and I own the club Steel Dancers. I've owned them since 2019, but I've only just recently remade them, and this video is going to be all about how I've grown to having a full club in the space of about 2 months, which is madness, absolute madness. But yeah, anyway, without further ado, let's just crack on with the video, shall we? Missing someone I feel the need to start this video off with a little bit of a disclaimer, okay? Now, I know that I'm a very unusual situation. I owned Steel Dancers back in the day, okay? Back in 2019, I owned a club that was very successful, okay? And this is most likely the main factor to my success now in 2024. However, there's a few things which have definitely not been all due to it and have helped me along the way. So I'm going to talk about it, all of it. Okay, let's begin. So, like I've said about a gazillion times, back in 2019, I made Steel Dancers. It took us about 6 months before we really started to pick up. And then, yeah, we were arguably one of the biggest clubs in UK service, especially on your Unicorn Forest, which is our home server. We were constantly full. There was multiple times within the clubs over the span of many months where we would have 50 out of 50 members, and it was to the point where we would have activeness of like 48 members online, and it was like wild, okay, wild. And I then had to give up Steel Dancers because life got a bit too busy for me, and I've always kind of missed the club because I stopped owning for about a year, and I just missed it so much, okay. I was like, oh, I'd do anything to own it again. And so randomly I decided in 2024, with the help of my co-owner, shout out Snow, and with the rest of my admin team, we decided to bring Steel Dancers back. We had a very unexpected amount of support straight off the bat. I didn't expect Steel Dancers to grow quite as much as it did. I kind of expected it to flop. I thought, you know, at first we were going to get a couple of members and then it would die off, but it didn't. It just continued to grow and grow and grow to the point where we're full at the minute, and we have people wanting to join every day, and our activeness is mad. We had an event the other day which had 42 people online, which is, for 2024 clubs, is pretty unheard of. Go us. But yeah, so again, a lot of that is probably due to us owning back in 2019 and us being a recognisable club from then. However, here are a few things which I found have really helped as a club. Get a decent social media platform, okay? Our main one currently is Instagram. We have, as of speaking, around 1.3 followers on it, and I find having a theme, finding an editor, finding someone to do your logo for you is so worth the investment. Obviously this isn't realistic for everyone. I'm an adult and I choose what to spend my money on, and if I choose to spend it on a bit of money towards editors for the club, I do that. I also paid for our profile picture to be done, which meant that it's absolutely stunning. I find this really, really, really draws people in, massively so. I did do all the reels myself, or I think it's most of them I edited myself, but obviously I have editing experience. But I'd really highly recommend finding someone to do it for you, because if you start off and your first post is like a big 10 out of 10 and your profile picture is a 10 out of 10 and you're like, everyone's gonna be like, okay, this is a club that is serious, this is a club that are here to stick around, they're not being made by some 10-year-old, they're like a serious club that are going to be very successful and they're going to do well. If we look at other examples in the SSO community, we can see that other clubs such as Sunforce, Wicked Crows, who else? My club, I can't really say that. Witch Rush, they're all very, very identifiable clubs, okay? You know instantly who you're talking about and what their theme is, and etc when someone mentions their name. The next thing is, obviously we didn't have too much of a problem with this because we already had a club uniform and a club horse. However, we didn't use the same club horse as we had when we disbanded back in, God knows, like 2022, 2023. We changed horse, okay? If you pick a horse that most people have, or is very popular, was very up, like at the minute, we chose the Dutch Warmbloods, okay? We chose specifically the grey one. We have barely had any issues with our club members having it. We allow 10 weeks for our members to buy it, which is enough time to save up star coins if you're on a weekly allowance. And we haven't had a single issue so far. I really highly would recommend picking a horse that people are going to want to ride, or people may already have. When back in the day we used to use the Gen 2 Frisians, no brainer, everyone had one. It was a literal no brainer. It meant that people could join very quickly, didn't have to stress if they had the horse or not because they already had it. And in terms of uniform, pick something which is identifiable. Don't try and avoid things that have already been done, and try and steer clear of really niche uniforms. Like, pick something that kind of stands out. Obviously ours is quite boring, it's just a grey uniform, but it works in a way and it's very identifiable. If you would put a picture up on screen of us, most people would be able to identify what club we are. It's identifiable and it's cool. We look cool, okay? As a big herd, we look sick. We look like little ants, but that's fine. And that's the uniform bit covered. Next up is prioritise quality over quantity. I cannot stress this heavily enough, okay? It is so tempting when you're first in the early days to just accept anyone because you're desperate for members. Don't do this, okay? You want to make sure that your members are quality and not quantity, because if you're accepting anyone, you might have people who join your club who may not quite suit your environment. It's really important to make sure that they fill out an application form, or you have a really thorough chat to them, just to make sure they're going to fit your environment and make sure they meet all the standards for it. Like, we expect people to be actively working on getting the uniform and the horse, etc. And to have a basic dressage knowledge. Have requirements set out, okay? Don't just let it be a free-for-all unless you want a free-for-all. Most people don't want that. We definitely didn't. And just kind of stick with those standards, and I promise you won't go too far wrong. One of the last points I've got to add is have fun with it. You can expect good attendance while also having fun. We currently have an attendance system in place, so members are allowed to miss 3 events a week anymore, and we have a word with them. We're very relaxed about things. We also have 1 day off of we also have 1 day off of events a week, meaning people can miss up to 4 events a week, meaning they only have to attend 3, which is very relaxed. Have an event time that most people can attend. If your event time is like 10 o'clock at night, no one's going to be able to attend that, because you have to remember this game is mainly aimed at children, so the people in your club will be children or teenagers. And we picked 7:30. That's a very popular club time because most people by that point have got home from school or work, they've had their dinner, they've done whatever they need to do, and they're ready for an event. And our events last an hour. They sometimes overrun, they sometimes are shorter than that. It's very kind of hit or miss. But yeah, just have fun with it, okay? You don't need to be too harsh on everything, and you don't need to be making people stressed out, because at the end of the day it is a pixel pony game. But also just make sure there is some sort of routine and there is some ssort of structure to your club, because people aren't going to want to join a club if there's no structure and there's no sort of leadership team in place, because if there's no leadership team in place, you haven't got a club. Okay, I think that's everything I had to add. My main sort of points there were heavy on the social media. Have a popular social media platform, or a well done social media platform. It doesn't have to be popular straight away, but if it's put together well, you'll go far. People are big on social media nowadays, like huge on it, and so make it good and you'll get members. Have an identifiable uniform. Don't copy and paste off someone else, because you're not going to get members. And have a good leadership team. Leadership teams, I love my admin team. I don't know where I'd be without them. Probably without SD. So yeah, they're heavy on the leadership team. Find good people. Don't just take anyone, even if it means you have to do it with 1 or 2 of you and struggle for the start. You'll pick up more along the way. Obviously, like I said, I was very fortunate. I had a leadership team in place because a lot of them had been in SD previously. But yeah, obviously I cheated a little bit by owning the club, but those are my reasons as to how I've managed to go from no club to a full club in about 2 months. Yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you might find this video a little bit helpful. Yeah, I mean, it's been a wild ride, but hopefully these tips help. Obviously everyone's different, but yeah, hope the video is helpful, and I'll see you all very soon with another video. Bye everyone!